Hi, thanks for joining today. Today I want to look at the portfolio and project management capabilities in Ivanti Service Manager. And so first what I'll do is I'll change my role to a portfolio manager. And when I do that, I will get the dashboard, the default dashboard for a portfolio manager. So each role has its own default dashboard. Those dashboards can be changed, or you can create entirely new ones. But each role comes with its own. So portfolio manager is somebody who has multiple projects, visibility into multiple projects that all roll up to that person. So each portfolio can have more than one project in it, and then a portfolio manager can have multiple portfolios. So in this case, we see this is a demo system, so we've got some projects in a couple of different portfolios. So there's a portfolio called Galactic Domination, and there's a project to create a Starkiller Starkiller base. So there's a construction project for that. Also for technology refreshment, there's a software project and a laptop refresh. So this part of the dashboard gives you a kind of a very high level idea of the health of a project. If anything's out of sorts, you'll get a little icon on here, either red or yellow, saying that either budget or schedule or general health is an issue. And then there's other panels as well that'll focus on your budget, whether they're on budget or off budget, and then a panel to show how much budget is remaining for those. So with that said, let's take a look at a project. And so we'll take a look at this laptop refresh project. And we can do that just by drilling into the dashboard, or we could have opened up the project by going to the project workspace. So there's also a portfolio workspace. And that's how you can get to all the items in your portfolio or all the projects that you have access to. When you do go to a project, you're first presented with this detail page, and there's multiple tabs here, multiple pages of information for a project. We'll take a look at each of those in turn. But this detail page gives you kind of a high-level description of what the project is, as well as a little bit of a highlight of whatever the latest updates are relative to that project. And then there's this detail section here. So we can see who the owner is, it's the project name and the summary, what its status is, the start and end dates, who the project manager is, and also information about its schedule health and budget status. Also what portfolio it's a member of, and also maybe most important, some budget information. So we can see which portion of the budget that it comes from. In this case, it's the technology refresh budget. That budget itself can have multiple components, but that budget has a certain dollar amount, and then as tasks are completed or as tasks are worked on, the system will automatically allocate dollars, assign dollars to that based on the teams that are doing that work, so that you can keep track of how that budget is consumed over the life of a project. So projects themselves are broken up into multiple phases, and so here we can see the phases of a desktop or a laptop refresh. So these phases are ordered here from 1 to 7. So it starts with requirements gathering, and then there's several other things, and there's deploying to multiple groups, deploying to a pilot group, and then to other groups as the rollout, as the refresh progresses, from starting with a very small number of people to an increasing number of people as we go to multiple cycles of this project. And we can see those phases in the schedule. And in this schedule, let me collapse this for a minute. In the schedule, we can look at the schedule over a long time period. So here's the schedule over a year. So we can see that this is starting in April, and here's where we are today in this particular calendar in the schedule. We can see kind of a percentage complete for each of these phases, and then we can also see the tasks that are associated with each phase. So a phase can be broken up or can be comprised of multiple tasks, and then those tasks can be assigned to multiple people. So in the same way that incident management uses tasks to assign to multiple people or to multiple teams to resolve an incident. Similarly, the project management follows that same philosophy. Multiple tasks can be applied to multiple people, and then those people can update those tasks with their progress, with their expected end date, and that way the project stays up to date through those people working on their tasks. And as they do that, as they complete those tasks, as they apply time to those tasks, then the system automatically allocates or calculates dollars based on how much time has been spent on each task. So that's the schedule, along with tasks related to each project phase. And then there's also an area for status updates, which is basically notes. So you can keep notes maybe at each project meeting, or as people provide information, notes are kept as part of the project. Then there's a tab here that just gives a listing of all of the tasks. Now, a full project might have more tasks than this. This is just a demo, but here you can see the tasks all lumped together, whereas in the schedule, we see those tasks separated by what phase they're associated with. So here we see all the phases. Right. And then there's also an area for a risk register. So if there's a particular risk to the project, that risk can be recorded here, and then it can be addressed, and strategies for mitigating that risk can be recorded as part of that risk entry. Similarly, if there's a problem or an issue, something that's causing concern, that can be also recorded in here and then tracked as part of the project. And then over time, there could be changes to the project. So just as there can be change management applied to assets, to processes, then there's also the ability to have changes and record those changes and information about those changes as part of the project. So I think one of the sample projects that comes with the system has more information in terms of risk and issues. So yeah, here's the Star Killer Base project, and so there are a couple of risks that have been associated with it. So there's something which is a schedule risk, and so there's a particular risk that's been identified, and then a contingency plan here is to have staff work round the clock to build the Star Killer. There's also issues, so we can say uh, here's an issue. So there's construction workers are planning a strike, and so we can track that particular issue related to this project. We can assign somebody to work on it and target a resolution for that, and then we can track what that resolution was for the issue related to the project. And with that, that is the project and portfolio management. The only other thing that I'll say is, so right now I've been the portfolio manager. There's also a project manager role, which has a lot of the same visibility and view into projects as the portfolio manager, but the project manager has the ability to assign and create tasks for individual people and teams, whereas the portfolio manager just sees the results of those tasks. They can see the tasks, they just don't have the ability to assign tasks. So the project manager is a little bit further down in the weeds. And the project manager has their own dashboard, as we can see here. So with that, I think that's everything for project and portfolio management in Ivanti Service Manager. Thank you very much for joining, and I hope you can watch one of our other videos soon. Thank you.